What's going on, folks? Good morning. Happy Wednesday. It's a couple of days before Christmas, and yes, I'm still getting signings in. I actually have 3 signings today. I just am just coming from one. Then I have, that was scheduled for 10. Then I have one at 2, which I don't have docs for yet. Crazy. And then I have one at 5. So I've had the 10 o'clock and the 5 o'clock scheduled for about the last week. The 2 o'clock actually came in this morning, and it's about 15 minutes from my house. So I jumped on that just because I had a block of time during the day, in the middle of the day, where I could take a signing. Didn't have any other client appointments or anything like that. So I jumped on it. So my 2 and my 5 are refinances. The one I just did was a loan modification. And one of the great things about this business is obviously not just the opportunity to learn the industry, but it's not a get rich quick scheme. It is work. It does take work. But the signing I did just now literally took 10 minutes. I made $55. It was only 13 pages. 3 signatures, 1 notarization. So that literally took 10 minutes. I got there almost 10 minutes early, and I was done pretty much when the appointment was supposed to start. That worked out well. And it was just easy. Like I said, 10 minutes, $55. Is it a lot of money? No. But, when you think about how, your average signing service fee is going to be about $85, and that's 100 and something pages, typically, it definitely balances out from a time perspective. But it's good to be able to get a variety of types of assignments from signing services, particularly, because it just helps you learn, like I said, and then you just have some that pay more, some that pay less, and it just balances out, in my opinion. This one, like I said, it didn't take long. We actually signed the documents on my trunk, the trunk of my car, because pretty much as soon as I pulled up, they came right outside. For whatever reason, they didn't want to let me inside, which is fine. It's a pandemic, so it's all good. I'm just glad it was a small package, and we didn't have to do a whole bunch of flipping through pages and explaining a whole bunch. So it was pretty efficient. It wasn't bad at all. So I'm heading back towards my house, and I'm gonna drop off this package as well. I actually have 2 packages to drop. One from one I did last night, which is FedEx, and then the one I just did is UPS. So I'm gonna drop all of those off, and then go back home and probably finish printing for my 5 o'clock. Then I have to go look at a house for a client of mine, a multifamily, and then come back home. Hopefully my 2 o'clock docs are ready. Print those, head to that, and from there probably go straight to my 5 from there. Potentially, maybe the signers can sign a little bit early, but we'll see. So that's kind of my day today. I'm trying to get in as many signings as I can before the end of the year. I have a goal to reach a certain number by the end of the year, and I'm pretty much on track to do that. I've already doubled in December what I did in November, which is great. I'm trending pretty solidly. So yeah, that's my day. What's going on, guys? So I just am leaving my second signing of the day. It was a 2 o'clock signing, and this one actually didn't close. The signer would not sign because the closing costs were incorrect. Apparently, the lender was supposed to roll all the closing costs into the mortgage, and they didn't. And so we called the lender, and apparently they made a mistake. You know, so the CD had the closing costs incorrect, and the Alta had the closing costs incorrect. I mean, it was thousands of dollars. And I mean, the thing is, you know, with refinances specifically, you know, sometimes a borrower is getting money back. Sometimes it's a wash. That means they don't get money. They're not owed money. And sometimes they do owe money, and it could be, you know, thousands of dollars, you know, thousands of dollars potentially. In this case, because I've been running all day, I only really had time to go home and print the documents because they were available at, I think, about 11, but I've been basically on the road all day today. You know, I printed the documents, I prepped the documents earlier. You know, one thing that I typically do and I try to do is to call the borrower and make sure that they have, you know, either they've sent the wire for the funds that are due if they owed, you know, if they owe money, or they have certified funds. Different lenders do it differently, you know, based on different amounts and whether they'll take a wire or a check or what have you. But I didn't call this person, one, because I got the docs late, and, you know, I was doing a lot today, you know, that I didn't have really a chance to call. And then, you know, I just didn't call. You know, sometimes I do, a lot of times I do, especially if they owe money. I will call and ask them, you know. Obviously I couldn't ask them when I initially confirmed the appointment this morning because I didn't have documents. So, you know, even if, you know, she said, you know, even if she said, oh, I don't owe any money, you know, I wouldn't have known that until, you know, when I actually saw the docs and printed them out, which I was just able to print them out like right before I came to this appointment. So, you know, it just kind of goes to show, you know, when you take an assignment, a signing, and when you call to confirm, you know, that you let the borrower know that, hey, or you ask them, hey, are you getting money back, or, you know, or do you owe money? If they say, oh, I owe money, you know, then great. I mean, then, you know, they'll have to have the funds ready. So you tell them, you know, typically a lender requires, you know, certified funds or a wire. You know, just want to make sure that you're prepared, you know, for that. If they say, oh, I don't owe money, and then you look at the docs and it says that they do owe money, you know there's probably going to be an issue. So, and you should verify that before you print the documents, because then you won't do like I did today and print the documents, go to the appointment, only to find out that the signer won't sign, you know, because, you know, the CD and the Alta are incorrect, and so the loan amount is going to be incorrect. Everything's going to be incorrect, you know, which is fine. This one was like 10-15 minutes from my house. So I'll get a trip fee for this, a trip and print fee, which is typically about half. You know, they'll pay you about half of what the total signing, you know, cost, or what you would have gotten paid. Which, you know, I hate. I hate when I print documents and, you know, I waste paper and toner. But in the same breath, you know, I'm still gonna make a partial fee on this one. 10 minutes from my house. I sat there with her for about 20 minutes while we, you know, spoke to the lender, and they were trying to kind of sort things out. And hopefully I can, you know, I can catch it, you know, when it comes around again, probably early next week, you know, when she has to sign, or, you know, when they actually get their act together. So not a big deal. I'll just, you know, go back by the house, you know, do some admin work and things, and then, you know, in another hour and a half or so, head out for my my 5 o'clock. And, you know, that will more or less be my day, you know? So we'll see. All in the day in the life of being a notary loan signing agent. There we go. What is this person doing? What's going on, folks? It's Christmas Eve. I just arrived to my first and only signing today. Why am I taking a signing on Christmas Eve? Well, I just wanted to get one in today. It's gonna obviously be a very chill day, a day I spend with my family. But just kind of wanted to get one in. I have a goal for the end of the year that I wanted to reach, and this helps me meet that goal. You know, sometimes setting goals are not about the, it's not about a quantity, but it's more so about in your mind and in your heart establishing something. You know, really setting a goal and accomplishing it. And the more and more you do that, the more and more you'll have confidence in yourself, confidence in your business. I believe it just does something to elevate your mindset. And so it's not really about the money. It's about accomplishing your goals and accomplishing what you set out to do, and really pushing the limits of yourself and stretching, you know, the boundaries of what you've done before, to accomplish something new. And I believe that if you want to be successful, you have to stretch yourself. You have to push yourself, and you have to do what other people aren't willing to do. That includes, you know, maybe taking that one signing. You know, I don't know. I mean, I'm obviously not saying, you know, make this the most important thing in the world per se, because there are other, you know, more important things as well, like family and things like that. And I totally believe in prioritizing and putting family first. But, you know, at the same time, you know, I'm building something, and I'm establishing something that will benefit my family and help my legacy. And it might, you know, appear to be small now, but, you know, you can't forsake or disregard, you know, the small beginnings. Everything that is big and great starts out small. So, you know, I'm gonna knock this out today, and then I'm going to head on in and enjoy the rest of my day. I have one signing tomorrow on Saturday, which after I took it, I regretted taking it. But it's kind of first thing in the morning. You know, I'm really hoping I don't have any type of fiasco like I had last Saturday. But again, I took it because I'm trying to reach a goal. So that's all. I already have a couple of signings scheduled for next week. And, you know, we'll see what happens, you know. But I'll holler at you guys later. Hey guys, so I'm back again, and just got out of that signing, and that one didn't close. Signer did not sign. There was an issue once again with the closing costs. In this particular case, the borrower was supposed to get money back, but he was expecting to owe money. And it turns out that certain costs he was expecting to pay at closing was rolled into the mortgage, and he didn't want to, you know, he didn't want the increased mortgage amount with the closing costs rolled in. You know, he wanted to pay those costs up front because he wanted to reduce his monthly payment. So totally understandable. In my experience, typically people have an issue with the closing costs when they owe more money than they thought they would. In this case, it was the other way around. So, you know, not really positive that there was anything I could have done to prevent this, or to prevent, you know, having printed docs and made the trip. You know, once again, I'll still make a trip fee for this particular signing. But you know, it was time spent, you know, and that's just kind of the highs and the lows of what happens, you know, in this business. And obviously, you know, I'm making this content and kind of showing you this so that you'll understand that these are the kinds of things that happen, you know, as a part of this business. So it's all good. It's just kind of interesting that in the past 2 days I've had 2 loans that didn't close. So it just goes to show you that, you know, they all won't close. But the bright side is that, you know, obviously I didn't have to spend as much time there, you know, signing docs and notarizing docs. Yeah, I don't have to worry about packaging and shipping and all of that stuff as well. You know, I just have to shred the documents, basically. Because when you do a signing that doesn't close, you know, typically you're not supposed to leave any of the documents with the signer. You know, if they talk to the lender and the lender, you know, while you're there, you know, says that, you know, they'll reschedule the signing, you take both your copy, the copy that was going to get signed, plus the borrower's copy, you take both copies back, and then you shred them. Because, you know, typically the lenders and the title companies do not want you leaving packages, physical packages with the borrowers. So that's just kind of a quick tip, you know, when a loan doesn't close, you know, and then you just kind of go on about your day. It's all good. So I'm now heading home to spend the rest of the day with my family, and so I'm excited about that. But yeah, just kind of wanted to show you and tell you about that, and to let you know that, you know, they don't all close. You know, sometimes there are issues, and you know, you have to just kind of be okay with it. It's the cost of doing business. And more importantly, you know, if the borrower has an issue, you know, your job is not to get the loan to close, right? That's not your job. Your job is to show up, you know, provide great service, present the documents, guide the signer where to sign, notarize what you're supposed to notarize, package the docs, and ship them. That's your job, you know, more or less. Your job is not to get the loan to close, right? So if there's other conditions and other things that happen that will prevent, you know, the signer from signing, or they don't want to sign, right? You have to be okay with that. And this is why it's important for you to do, you know, what your training should teach you, which is to present the critical documents first. I always present the closing disclosure first, because if there's an issue with that document, then there's a high likelihood that nothing else will, you know, if they won't sign the closing disclosure, then it's really no point in continuing the signing, because it's a waste of time, right? The closing disclosure has the loan amount, the interest rate, the closing costs, cash to close, all of that. So if the borrower doesn't agree with those numbers and won't sign, then, you know, you would have wasted your time if you waited until the middle of the signing or the end of the signing to actually present the closing disclosure. So that's why you always present the closing disclosure first. And if they sign that, then it's almost 100% that they'll sign the rest of the package. If they don't sign it, then there's never any really need to continue. You halt the signing and notify the signing service of the title company and make your trip fee or your print fee and call it a day, you know? So, but as a notary, you should never convince or coerce or try to get someone to sign something just so it can close. If they don't want to sign, then they don't want to sign, you know? Pack it up and be out. So that's it. I'm heading home, y'all. Tomorrow is Christmas Day. Like I said, Saturday I just have one signing in the morning, and that'll be my week. So I'm gonna wrap up this day in the life right here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Really appreciate, again, all of you that have decided to come along on this journey with me. We're now at over 1,000 subscribers, and that's just really mind-boggling for me. So thank you all so much for coming along on this journey, for supporting the channel, and there's so much more to come. So I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and I'll chat with you guys in the comments. Peace.